Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole, speaking to you Saturday evening, March 20th. I assume everyone is on their way back from spring break if you're not back already. So we're moving into week 11 of Comparative Governments, Political Science 3143 for the spring term. Everyone, for the week coming up, we have Mexico on the syllabus, and then the week after that, Nigeria. On Tuesday the 30th, we will take quiz number 6, which will deal with Mexico and Nigeria. And you were sent an assignment before spring break. 2 things to read about Mexico and 2 about Nigeria. Please be sure that you can access all of those. I sent you 2 links in the original announcement, and the entire text of one of the articles came in a separate message. Then there was a message I sent through the Wall Street Journal website, or at least the app on my telephone, including a link to a Wall Street Journal article. Please be sure that you can access that one in particular. And if there's a difficulty with it, I'll have to get the text of that article out to everyone. But we need to see about that before the 30th, and we've got 10 days. So I would just ask that you be sure that you can access all 4 of those articles for the quiz we're going to take on the 30th. We will chat about it Monday evening the 29th and take the quiz on the 30th. That will be quiz number 6. 2 things to read about Mexico, 2 about Nigeria. Let me mention also, I've heard from one student about a country report, and I hope to be getting back to that student over the weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, with any luck. So I want to encourage everyone else who may be looking at doing a country report to contact me about a country, one or more, that you may be interested in. Remember, you need to submit a country report to be eligible for making an A in the course, the way we've set up the syllabus. Let me say a few words about Mexico. We are moving from the developed to the developing countries. Up to now, all the countries we've looked at are among what we would call the wealthier, developed countries of the world. Canada, Japan, and I believe 3 countries in Western Europe. All right, now, of course, that would not apply to many, many countries in the world, and it does not apply to Mexico or Nigeria. Now, Mexico is a wealthier country than Nigeria. It's neither the wealthiest nor the poorest country in the world. Some people classify it as being among the emerging economies of the world. It has part of the population is affluent, but a good bit of it is not. And so it's really separate and distinct and different in some important respects from the countries we've been looking at up to now. Now, there are a couple of things about the rules of the game in Mexico we need to be aware of. One very distinct thing about Mexico is the president's 6-year term. The president of Mexico serves a single 6-year term, cannot succeed him or herself. There's never been a female president, I don't believe. Okay, so the president serves for 6 years and then goes away. The current president was elected in 2018 and began his term late in that year. So is, I believe, not quite halfway through that 6-year term. That's a very distinctive feature of the Constitution of Mexico. Now, everyone, another important fact about Mexico is that Mexico, until recently, was an example of what we call the predominant party system. In other words, there was one party that was predominant, and that was the PRI, the Institutional Revolutionary Party, or as it comes out in Spanish, PRI, the PRI. Okay. The PRI remained predominant until the election of President Vicente Fox, who went in about the same time as George W. Bush, a decade or 2 ago. He represented the right-of-center party, the PAN, the National Action Party, and that marked the end of the predominance of the PRI. Now, the PRI is still around, has gone in and out of office since the tenure of Vicente Fox. It took a pretty bad beating in the last election that was held in 2018. but it's still there and it's pretty deeply ensconced in the infrastructure at the local level in Mexico, and it's to be expected that it will not completely go away, although it took a beating in the year 2018. So that was true of Mexico for much of the 20th century, about all of the 20th century, in fact. The Institutional Revolutionary Party, the PRI, was the predominant party, and it's still an important party in Mexico, although it was knocked off its perch when Vicente Fox, President Vicente Fox, went into office a decade or two ago. A country with some affluent people and some very poor people. I think it's fair to say of Mexico that it has been developing economically and politically, but with fits and starts. Okay. Sometimes it takes 2 steps forward, 1 step back in its development, you might say. And its development has been fraught because it's taking place in the context of a somewhat authoritarian background throughout Mexico's history that you will read about as you look at what the class notes have to say about the history of Mexico. We might say it's moving gradually with fits and starts in a democratic direction, but not without some setbacks and without some hesitation about exactly what direction it wishes to move in. And that also goes for its economic development, I think it's fair to say. Let me say a word about the current president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, very often known by his initials that make up the acronym AMLO, AMLO, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. I don't say too much about him in the class notes. You'll learn a bit more about him in the 2 articles I've asked you to read about Mexico for next week, okay, both of which discuss López Obrador fairly extensively, and I think it's fair to say of the 2 articles, one of them criticizes him from the left, the other from the right. Okay. He is a fairly outspoken left-of-center populist who believes that Mexico went too far in the direction of accepting free market economics, and especially in giving too much prerogative to corporate interests, and he's determined to roll that back, and is quite outspoken and flamboyant in his method of trying to do so. So a controversial figure, AMLO, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, the currently serving president of Mexico. All right, so we have Mexico on the syllabus for this week, this coming week, and the following week, Nigeria. Not this week, but next week on Tuesday the 30th, we will take quiz number 6, which will cover both Mexico and Nigeria. Okay, you have 4 things to read. Please be sure you can access all 4 of them. I'm a bit concerned about the 1 article from the Wall Street Journal. You should have received a message with a link allowing you to access that article. If you cannot, please contact me and I will get the text of that article to you. So, 4 things to read for the quiz, not this coming week, but the following week on Thursday the 30th. And we'll chat about it on Monday the 29th. 2 things to read about Mexico, 2 to read about Nigeria. Please be sure you can access all 4 of those. And if you would like to do a country report, please get in touch with me. And if there's 1 or more countries you're looking at, I will try to look into that and give you some constructive criticism and some idea of the direction in which you ought to go on any particular country you might be looking at. So we will work on Mexico this coming week, Nigeria the following week, and we're looking at quiz number 6, not this week, but the following week on Tuesday, March 30th. So study hard, be looking at that material on both Nigeria and Mexico, and we will talk to you again at about this time next weekend, and we look forward to chatting with you Monday night the 29th, and we'll take that quiz Tuesday the 30th. So take it easy, study hard, welcome back from spring break.